Hey guys, this is the next video in the series. So this one right here, this picture that we have, is going to be our C8 spinal nerve. He's not going to ask you for the C7 T1 vertebral body IVF. Right? That just does not happen. All right. He wants you to be able to kind of reverse engineer what's going on here and realize that the C8 spinal nerve comes out between those two levels, right? So just to get some proportions down, things to look out for, things to not mess up on. You want to make sure that the bottom edge of your ligamentum flava here, right there, goes roughly through the midline of the disc, right here. Okay, so that's proportion number one. You kind of need to look out for. Two, you need to make sure that your capsular ligaments are all clear or white, if you will. Okay, so capsular ligament back here, capsular ligament right there, and the capsular ligament right here. Okay, so those need to be clear. And then what I like to call your named ligaments. So in this case, you'd have ligamentum flava and your posterior longitudinal ligament. Make sure they're colored in. All right. Those key things need to be remembered, otherwise you lose silly points. Also, just make sure that this whole structure, that you keep it out of the disc space. You do not want it up in the disc space. And also you want it roughly even with the back edge of this IVF. You don't want it way out here. You don't want it way up there. All right, so just roughly even with the back edge. Now, as far as labels, there's 4 labels. He says there's only 3 unique, but technically there's 4 because you have to appreciate the level at which it's at. So you will have to write costa central capsular ligament right there. All right, and then you want your articular surface of rib 1. It could be either this or that. It does not matter. So just draw an arrow in there. All right, and then the other thing would have to be your superior costal facet T1. So we've recognized the fact that T1 is in fact down here, but we haven't said what the other level is. So to get full credit, you would have to say vertebral body of C7. Okay. Now, if he doesn't ask for unique, you're just doing all the labels. But very rarely does he do that. That's usually the case for C1 and C01. All right, and just realize that this is basically a lateral thoracic X-ray. So this isn't the correct level, but we're just taking a snapshot of this area right here. And that's essentially what we're drawing. I know it's a bit hard to understand at first, but once you finally see it, it kind of all comes together. So let's learn how to draw it real fast. I always start with the kidney bean first, so it's just kind of this funny kind of looking pear potato thing. Then I'll do a little double rainbow here, nice and simple. And then I'll draw 2 lines off the double rainbow. I'll have one come up, one come down, and then you just make your space here. It doesn't need to be too pretty. You can do like the little, he has like kind of like a half rainbow looking thing in there, but he's not too picky about the shape of it, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's more about proportions. Next, we got to do the other half of our rainbow. Well, actually, let's draw this down a little bit. So you can make your ligamentum flava pretty big. The size is kind of irrelevant. So you want this bottom edge to strike through the middle of the disc, give or take, right? So we'll have to draw this roughly up here, like so, and then draw our disc through like that. Now we can say that it goes through the middle like that, right? From there, you're just drawing the rib facet and coloring, all right? So I usually color first. Color that in. color that in. So our two named ligaments are colored. We're good to go there. Now we're just doing the rib and rib facet. So make sure you just draw that back edge right there. Nice and simple. Draw another circle around it, like so, and then hash down the center, fill it in, and label. All right, that is your C8 spinal nerve IVF.